You're listening to Don't Miss This on Paris Underground Radio. For more great content, including bonus videos of events in and around Paris, please join us on Patreon. Hello, and welcome back to Don't Miss This, your weekly roundup of the best of what's happening in Paris this week. I'm your host, Jennifer Garrity, the creator and founder of the Paris Underground Radio Podcast Network. Well, hello, my little chickadees, and welcome to the Season 5 premiere of Don't Miss This. First, let me thank all of you who followed along with the weekly bonus episodes over on Patreon. If you'd like to know about all the cool things that have been going on since Season 4, please head over there and check it out. But now, let's dive into this season. New season, new year. And this time, it's the Water Rabbit. This week, you'll find lion dances, peeks into secret societies, and sculptures that bring less is more to life. Check out Paris's hidden side. Let late nights in some of the world's most famous museums bring you clubbing and hot new films. Be transported by photos of women in honor, women in joy, and so much more. This week's edition of Don't Miss This covers the week of Sunday, January 22nd through January 28th, 2023. When is a secret society not a secret society? Why, when it's celebrating its 250th anniversary, of course, which explains the new exhibit at the Museum of Freemasonry, Illustre de la Franc-Maçonnerie, in which street artist C215 will pay tribute to some of the most important figures of this secret society, people like Louise Michel, Mirabeau, and Josephine Baker. Illustre is an apt title for this exhibit since it can be translated as both famous and enlightened, a word used to describe those who have had access to Masonic knowledge. In total, 30 insiders who have marked the history of France will have their portraits crafted by C215. Illustre de la Franc-Maçonnerie will be at the Musée de la Franc-Maçonnerie through April 16th, and full-price tickets are €7. For more information, please visit museefm.org. That's museefm.org. Do you believe in the multiverse? Have you ever wanted to live in a parallel world? If so, you'll enjoy the new cycle at the Forum des Images Monde Parallèle. The Forum des Images is dedicated to film and images in all their forms. And from now through March 24th, you can explore these parallel worlds through cinema, comics, video games, and new images. Follow the White Rabbit down the rabbit hole and explore Narnia, Pan's Labyrinth, Coraline, and Oz, and films by directors like Jean Cocteau and David Lynch. Roundtable discussions will be held with specialists, critics, and followers of immersive practices on topics like the metaverse and the border between the real and the virtual. Monde Parallèle will be at the Forum des Images from now through March 24th. For more information, including a full program, please visit forumdesimages.fr. That's FORUMDESIMAGES.fr. If you prefer your art more topical, perhaps you'd be interested in the Hors Piste, or Off-Road Festival, currently at the Centre Pompidou. This festival aims to highlight important cultural events through contemporary art, and this year's theme is Voir la guerre et faire la paix, or Seeing War and Making Peace, and is inspired by the war between Russia and Ukraine. Contemporary artists share their views on the representations of war, the demands of peace, and the sacrifices made to move from one to the other. You'll find documentaries, works of fiction, exhibits, performing arts, discussions, roundtables, conferences, and a concert. Hors Piste will be at the Centre Pompidou through February 19th, and more information, including a full program, can be found at centrepompidou.fr. That's CENTREPOMPIDOU.fr. Do you have room in your busy schedule for one more festival at a major French institution? Yes? Then head over to the Louvre for the film festival Les Journées Internationales du Film sur l'Art, or the International Days of Films on Art, to answer the question, what is the link between film and dance, painting, and theater? During this festival, you'll find film previews, discussions, the chance to meet with artists from all over the world, concerts, and many other events. This year's special guest is Dominique Gonzalez-Forrester, and she will host an exceptional visit to the museum, and her film, a documentary dedicated to the singer Christophe, which was filmed in the Louvre, will be screened. Most of the fabulous films on offer will be followed by a meet and greet, conversation, or debate, and still others will pay tribute to some of the great names in the art world who died in 2022, such as Pierre Soulages and Jean-Michel Maurice. In total, 50 films and nearly 40 special guests have been announced for this new edition. Les Journées Internationales du Film Solaire will be at the Louvre through January 29th. Tickets are €4, and more information, including the full program, can be found at louvre.fr. That's LOUVRE.fr. If I haven't yet, please let me wish you a Happy New Year. Chinese New Year, also known as the Spring Festival or the Lunar New Year, begins on Sunday, January 22nd and will last for 15 days. And there are many ways to get into the spirit. This year is the year of the water rabbit, which is a symbol of intelligence, kindness, prosperity, and peace. And who doesn't want that? There are many ways to celebrate over the next week, so I'm going to offer you some bullet points to some of the most interesting. First, there are parades. 3 of them, in fact. The first will take place on Monday, January 23rd on Rue Faubourg Saint-Honoré, with around 30 artists and percussionists leading this colorful parade in a lion and dragon dance. It will begin at 2 p.m. on the corner of Rue Faubourg Saint-Honoré and Rue Royale, and is free to attend. The second will take place on Saturday, January 28th in Belleville. And here, the colorful lion and dragon parade will be followed by calligraphy demonstrations and musical entertainment, and street food stands will line the route. This parade will leave at 2 p.m. from 56 Rue du Belleville, and the street food, including ravioli, donuts, corn dogs, takoyaki, Chinese pancakes, fried chicken, and Asian pastries, will be open from noon to 10 p.m. The third and final parade is also the largest and will be held in the 13th arrondissement on Sunday, January 29th, beginning at 12 p.m. This route winds through the avenues of Choisy, Ivry, and the Porte de Choisy, and you'll find dragon dances, red lanterns, and percussionists. If the idea of that street food market piqued your interest, head to Food Market on Thursday, January 26th for a selection of 100% Asian restaurants, including Bang Bang, Yuxi, Loaf, Panda Panda, Plus de Piment, and many more. Admission is open from 6 p.m. to 10:30 p.m., and no dish will exceed €10. Still more festive events will be held at the Musée Guimet over the weekend of January 28th and 29th. On Saturday, behold the Dance with Two Lions. Accompanied by a drum, cymbals, and a gong, the lions, each animated by 2 dancers, will chase away evil spirits and welcome happiness and prosperity. There will also be readings for young audiences. On Sunday, take place in origami workshops and listen to the tales of the Nyan Demon. Un Weekend Animé will be at the Musée Guimet on Saturday, January 28th and Sunday, January 29th. For more information, including the full program, please visit guimet.fr. That's GUIMET.fr. Psst! Do you want to know a secret? This February, Paris Face Cachée is back. So, why am I mentioning it now? Well, inscription opens on Monday, January 23rd. And what is Paris Face Cachée, you ask? They brand themselves as at the margins, impertinent, daring, and against the current, end quote. And they're your chance to access places that are hidden, unknown, or typically inaccessible. Discover history, art, physics, science, innovation, gastronomy, and other specialty topics. And the best part is you won't know who is organizing your event or who you're going to meet, and the meeting place is kept secret until you've gotten your tickets. So, on Sunday, January 22nd, you'll get a glimpse of the program as some of the themes are unlocked. The next day, you can choose your adventure. Some events are free and some are paid. Once you've purchased your tickets, your itinerary will be revealed. Paris Face Cachée will take place all over Paris on February 3rd, 4th, and 5th. But inscription for the second round opens on Monday, January 23rd. For more information, please visit parisfacecachee.fr. That's ParisFacecachee.fr. Let's add some more joy to our week. Beginning on Monday, January 23rd, a new fashion photography exhibit will open at the Azzedine Alia Foundation, titled Azzedine Alia Arthur Elguer en Liberté. So, Azzedine was a sculptor from Tunisia who became a couturier, and Arthur was a painter from New York who became a photographer. The two eventually met in Paris, and it was a match made in heaven. Azzedine loved Arthur's work, which had since been discovered by the director of Vogue, and the fashionable imagery he created through playing with light and shadow. This is your chance now to discover Arthur's work, which is described as, quote, a renewal of the representation of women, now assertive and independent, through shots filled with immediacy and joy, end quote, through timeless images and intimate photos of the designer's iconic pieces. You'll also see familiar faces like Janice Dickinson, Naomi Campbell, Christy Turlington, Cindy Crawford, Linda Evangelista, and Stephanie Seymour. Azzedine Alia Arthur Elguer en Liberté will be at the Fondation Azzedine Alia from Monday, January 23rd through August 20th. Tickets are €10 and more information can be found at fondationazzedinealia.org. That's FOUNDATIONAZZEDINEALAIA.org. From one icon to another, let's head back now to the Centre Pompidou for the new exhibit Serge Gainsbourg, Le Mot Exact, or The Exact Word. Beginning on Wednesday, January 25th, you'll have the chance to view several manuscripts by Serge Gainsbourg, the famous French poet, lyricist, composer, performer, director, photographer, and novelist, and take a peek at numerous books from his library. Serge may be best known for his singing, but he was also a collector of small papers, autographs, and paperoles, a testament to his prolific writing. In fact, he's left behind more than 500 texts written for himself and his interpreters. Here you'll dive into his literary landscape to better understand his writing and composing process through a set of annotated manuscripts and typescripts. Serge Gainsbourg, Le Mot Exact, will be at the Bibliothèque Publique d'Information du Centre Pompidou from Wednesday, January 25th through May 8th, and more information can be found at bpi.fr. Let's continue the trend we set with Arthur Elguer and further explore Une histoire photographique des femmes au XXe siècle, or a photographic history of women in the 20th century. In this exhibit, you'll explore how the societal place, role, and image of women evolved over the 20th century. In a time period that saw changes in civil rights, corporate rights, suffrage, emancipation, and independence, there's a lot to look at. Here you'll find more than 60 contemporary photographs, which also evolve, naturally, from black and white to color. Observe changes in fashions, body shapes, and freedoms of expression. This exhibit also highlights some of the famous women who have marked the century, the icons of the time. Une histoire photographique des femmes au XXe siècle will be at the Agence Roger Violier from Thursday, January 26th through March 25th and is free to attend. For more information, please visit roger-violier.fr. That's ROGER-VIOLLET.fr. Have you always dreamed of owning a place in Paris? If you're planning on moving, renting, buying, or selling a place in France, you'll need the expert guidance of Gaëlle Boisclair and Marie Pistinier, hosts of the Paris Estate of Mind podcast. Listen now to Paris Estate of Mind on parisundergroundradio.com or wherever you listen to podcasts. We'll be right back with Don't Miss This after a word from our sponsors. And now, back to Don't Miss This. If you followed along during the break between seasons, you may have seen the bonus video I created about the Années 80 exhibit at the Musée des Arts Décoratifs. Well, this week, the museum is taking this exhibit one step further, with 3 evenings spanning from within its walls to the dance floor of L'Oeil, the oldest gay club in Paris. On each of these evenings, you'll have the opportunity to visit the Années 80 exhibit from 6 p.m. to 8 p.m., followed by Club 80 at L'Oeil, an event that will celebrate fashion, music, dance, and style by linking the 1980s to the 2020s. At the exhibit, you'll learn about the 80s in France, from design to furniture to advertising to fashion, music, and beyond. Then you can extend this learning with one of 3 themed evenings, the first of which will be held on Thursday, January 26th, beginning at 9 p.m., titled Kindergarten. This French queer collective based in Paris brings together DJs, graphic designers, scenographers, and performing artists. The second evening, Forgive Us, will be held on Thursday, February 23rd, and the third, Mist, will be on Thursday, March 23rd. Club 80 will be held at the Musée des Arts Décoratifs from 6 to 8 p.m. and L'Oeil from 9 p.m. on Thursdays, January 26th, February 23rd, and March 23rd. Tickets are €14 and reservations are compulsory. For more information, including the full program, please visit madparis.fr. Sometimes what an artist chooses to leave out is more important than what they choose to leave in. And you can ponder that while you visit the new immersive and interactive exhibit Matière, or Materials, by French artist Bruno Catalano. This exhibit is being called a, quote, free adventure through an interactive journey in the middle of surprising sculptures, end quote. Bruno's sculptures are striking for both their realism and for their missing parts. And your experience of them is shaped as much by what you can see as by the emptiness of what you cannot. It's the landscape that completes these missing parts. Matière will showcase Bruno's work in a 500 square meter space that is divided over 3 floors, each representing a different chapter. In the basement, you'll find the pieces in plaster in a, quote, luminous visual and sound opera, end quote. On the ground floor, you'll find a men's choir in scan and a set of photographs that will take you to the 4 corners of the world, highlighting the artist's work across the world. And on the top floor, you can join these sculpted travelers in their respective worlds, thanks to a large screen where one panoramic landscape will follow another. These are accompanied by, quote, games of lights, mirrors, and mysterious fog, light beams, and synchronized lighting, end quote. Matière will be at the Galerie Bartou Paris from Friday, January 27th through February 18th and is free to attend. For more information, please visit galerie-bartou.com. That's GALERIES-BARTOUX.com. Well, that's it for this week's roundup of Don't Miss This. I'm your host, Jennifer Garrity. You can find me on all socials at Jennyphoria. That's JENNYPHORIA. I wish you a wonderful week. Please rate and review this podcast. For some reason, Apple Podcast works best. And tell a friend to help spread the word. Sign up for our newsletter at parisundergroundradio.com and get a quick look at the episodes coming out each week across the network. And to show even more support, please visit us on Patreon at patreon.com/parisundergroundradio. Until next week, happy exploring! Don't Miss This is produced by Jennifer Garrity for Paris Underground Radio. For more on this show and shows like it, please go to parisundergroundradio.com.